Hey family, so we are live on, it looks like Instagram, and we are live on YouTube. Hold on, in a state of complete and total gratitude. So, for those who don't know, I am Latoya, the Affirmation Guide, where the prayer is the affirmations that I share with you week after week in some way, shape, form, or fashion, help you on your journey or guide you in some way or shape or form or fashion on your journey with the Most High. So, to give just a little bit of background to those who may not be familiar with me, all of the affirmations that I choose are centered and grounded in the Most High. And what I mean by that is the Most High tells us that it is power in what we speak. Therefore, because it is power in what we speak, let me use my I statements, am very, very careful and mindful as to what I say and how I say it because I do understand the power of my tongue. Now, I'm still human. I am a work in progress. I am by no means perfect, nor do I pretend to be. Y'all, I definitely get it wrong. But what I am definitely grateful for and what I'm constantly working on is showing up and wanting and working towards being the best version of myself at that time. So that's not perfection. That is just me giving it my best, putting one foot in front of in front of the other, and being my absolute best in that moment. Another thing that I am actively working on is being an active listener. Is something that I'm not gonna say just currently working on. I've been working on it for quite some time now. But being an active listener, and what I mean by that is a lot of times we find ourselves listening to respond. You listen with the hopes to maybe one up somebody or to get your point across, not really listening to necessarily understand and fully take in what the other person is saying to you. Now, as a wife, as a mom, sometimes that's not, if I use my I statements, that may not be the strong suit. It may not be the strong suit, especially when it comes to being a mother. So often I find myself in a moment where I take a step back. And even if I don't agree with what my children are telling me, I do want to listen to them because one of the things that I tell them constantly is your voice is powerful. But I also reaffirm that with your voice is powerful, but it's only as powerful if you use it. So how can I say things like that and then not listen to some of the things that they say? Now, if we're being fully transparent, does that mean that they don't get cut off mid-sentence sometimes? Absolutely not. Because if I don't agree with what they are bringing to me, we are cutting it off mid-sentence. No. And my thing is, go ahead, you can try that again. Or depending on, the conversation and what's going on, that might be a conversation better suited for you, so you don't find yourself in trouble. Because our children are a range of ages. We have them from young adults to preschoolers. So we are at every spectrum when it comes to the little people who occupy our house, and in some cases not so little people. So definitely a range, definitely a lot of different aspects and things to take into perspective when it comes to who we're dealing with, how we're dealing with them, and all of the things. So jumping into the affirmations part, so we are going to conclude the series of the mental health series. It was centered around affirmations that are centered around mental health. Mental health is super duper important. It feeds into self-care, checking inward to make sure that you're okay, and in some cases even giving you those tools to learn how to check in with you, because we hear, okay, yeah, check in with yourself, take a deep breath, um, meditate, and all of these different strategies. But oftentimes we may not necessarily know, well, what does that look like for us? What does that mean when it says, okay, check in with me? Let me do a self check in to see, how do I feel in this moment with everything that I have going on. And it's very easy to get wrapped up in life with all of the different things that we may be juggling: work, children, spouses, partners, whatever your situation is. So to be able to actually take a deep breath, calm your mind, check in with you to see in the moment, like, okay, let me sit here, let me close my eyes, let me take a deep breath, and let me see how Latoya is in this moment. Just me, not the mom, not the wife, not the employee, not the business owner, or all of the other hats that I wear, but just me in this moment. Am I okay? And what does that look like for me? And for me, because I am someone from time to time who meditates, it looks like meditation. Sometimes it looks like a walk. Sometimes it looks like a prayer. It looks like many different things. So empowering